Inakuja tonga nguvu. I go by the name of Ochino, the only Kenyan who's a man, a boy, and also a friend. And of course, we cannot make up hivi chini because you have requested to have this guest here. And this time around, those who never watched the interview of Mr. Kiberenge, at least now you'll get a chance to watch it. And I'm sure maybe from the sentiments that he'll make here, you'll be able to agree with him or maybe disagree with him. And as usual, on this channel, kama ukubaliani na maoni ya our guest, it's your right also to reply. Hapa chini kwa comment section, tell us what you think. Maybe if you agree on one point or even all the points, you can also tell us hapa chini kwa comment section so that we can also have to inform each other and educate each other politically going forward. Mr. Kiberenge.
Yes.
Shukran sana kwa kuja tena, tumekuita tena na umefika.
Naam, shukran.
Maybe you can introduce yourself formally to the people who are watching you for the first time.
My names are Robert Kiberenge. You can add there title CPA, Certified Public Accountant. And I'm also a politician, an activist as well. And I'm glad to be here to join you in this interview.
Yeah. Sasa, because on this channel, umesema you're a certified public accountant.
Yes.
You're also a political analyst. You're also a politician. So on this channel, tumeweza kuinteract na your political analyst side. And today I want us to talk on some 3 issues. The return of Rigathi Gachagua to Kenya. How will that shape the political temperatures moving forward? We also want to talk about the High Court decision to hold the multi-agency team fighting on the war against corruption that President Ruto formed. We have seen that it has been halted. And finally, we will finish with the ODM and UDA joint parliamentary meeting that happened, the first one. Are we going to see another one? And from the consecutive meeting, such kind of meeting, are there political casualties that we are going to see moving forward? Let's now start with the issue of Rigathi Gachagua. Finally, the highly anticipated return happened. Na imekuwa na mambo mingi sana. For you personally, how can you just generally analyze the whole situation of his return?
Rigathi Gachagua's return from USA, you know, he went to USA. He was to be there for 2 months, I think. So he had to cut short his trip in order to come and participate in the upcoming by-elections. So his coming back was highly hyped. It was highly broadcasted and it was highly publicized or announced. And I think what Rigathi Gachagua wanted to do was to, you know, to gain as much political mileage from the coming. You know, he's borrowing a page from Raila's politics. You remember there was a time Raila went to the US on a sabbatical leave for 2 months. I think it was 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And when he came back, there was that hype of Baba while you were away. So there was a very large procession of thousands and thousands of people from JKIA all the way to the CBD. Yeah. Although there was a lot of confrontation and there were a lot of fatal casualties. So that is the script that Gachagua was trying to play. Because in the absence of Raila in the opposition politics, somebody must occupy that position. Yeah. And that person for now, it happens to be Rigathi Gachagua, who is playing that role very well, very, very well. So, Rigathi Gachagua was actually provoking the government. He wanted the government to react, maybe arrest him, maybe, I think he's dying for an arrest. Yeah. And actually, his coming back was dramatic, and he gained some political bonga points from the dramatic coming back. Yeah. Yes.
So we saw that the aftermath of that, some government vehicles. Some people are saying that the government vehicles. Others are just saying that it was Gachagua's team who hired those vehicles. They were stoned. Even media vehicles were stoned. Some media people were injured.
Yes.
Maybe from both sides, from the government side and also from Rigathi Gachagua's side, what are maybe some of the wins that Rigathi Gachagua's side got, and what are some of the wins that the government got? Because the Rigathi Gachagua's side, they had planned to have a major rally in Kamkunji or in Jacaranda grounds, but that was not really a fruition because you never saw Rigathi Gachagua himself come out and also achieve that thing that Raila achieved when he came back during the Babu Owino movement.
Yes.
what are some of the positive sides of Rigathi side and also the government side? What did they gain politically?
I will start with the Rigathi Gachagua. Okay, he failed to address a rally at Kamukunji because the plan flopped.
Yeah.
And Rigathi Gachagua had actually anticipated that. Yes, he had actually anticipated that the government would make it flop. So actually, on that side, he gained sympathy.
Yeah.
Yes, sympathy from a cross-section of Kenyans who are his supporters. I think if there was still somebody still supporting Ruto in Mulima, Kenya, I think they would have to think twice because Rigathi Gachagua is trying to fetch from the well of sympathy.
Yeah.
He knew that if I go and if the rally succeeds, I will have succeeded. If it flops, the government makes it flop, I will also have succeeded in gaining sympathy. So both ways, Rigathi Gachagua gained. Now on the government side, the government succeeded in, if Rigathi had succeeded in holding that rally at Kamukunji, it would have been a very massive rally. And in politics, there's something we call perception. Perception is a very important element in politics. So that rally would have created a very big perception countrywide to areas that Gachagua does not enjoy support. Maybe in Western, in Low Nyanza, you see. So that perception. In Western, there are no Gachagua supporters. In Low Nyanza, there are no. But that perception, if we had succeeded in holding that rally, there would have been a national perception that this man is a tsunami. Yeah. So the government succeeded in thwarting Gachagua's plans to create a national perception. Yes.
So, finishing up on this issue of Gachagua's return, we are seeing a situation whereby we're having goons who are, it's like they're being used. It's perceived, as you said. Political perception is that these young Kenyans are being used by the government to counter such a rally, because when we recent history during the recent Albert Ojwang Mandamanos, they were marking the killings, seeking justice. We saw some young guys who are carrying batons, similar batons that are of similar colors. That it will seem like it's a sponsored militia because the police are not arresting them. A similar situation is like happened yesterday during Gachagua's return. Do you believe such things, sponsored militias, if at all it's true that the government is the one that is paying these goons, do you believe it can result into a movement like the Mau Mau movement? Because some of us who were young at that time, when we read history, is that the Mau Mau, it was a group of young people who just formed to defend their interest, or to defend the politicians' interest. Do you think it can also go to the Mau Mau route? Or how can the government now contain these people after they've achieved the things that are being paid to do?
Those ones, I will put it in quotes. Those ones are state-sponsored goons. Yeah, there have been allegations that they are state-sponsored goons, and it is a valid point when somebody says they are state-sponsored goons, because they are never arrested. The police do not interfere with their work. So it is very valid and legitimate to argue that they are state-sponsored goons. Now, you know why the government is using goons is because there's this issue of police brutality. Police brutality. So the government, some elements within the government would want to use goons, private goons, than use police, because when they use police, it is direct. It is very direct that the government is applying brutality, unleashing brutality on the people. But when you use goons, it becomes a little bit, citizen versus citizen thing. A confrontation between citizens. That is what the government is trying to do. But all in all, people can see that these ones are not just goons acting spontaneously, but they are actually goons properly organized to serve a purpose, to unleash violence. And the problem with the government using goons, we can see Haiti. Haiti is a very good example. Those gangs, militia gangs in Haiti, they were being used by a government, the government of Haiti, for political purposes. Then, the government could no longer manage them because they were established. So it reached a point where the government could no longer manage them. So they overpowered the government. So I will use another example. You see, like in Mungiki, the founders of Mungiki reached a point where they could no longer manage it. It went beyond them. So these goods that the government is using, it might reach a point where these goons, the government might be defeated in managing these goons. And going back to Mungiki, you remember what Michuki did, what John Michuki did in order to tame Mungiki. The government had to use extrajudicial means because Mungiki had gone beyond what was expected. They could no longer manage it. So that's why you saw a lot of bodies being found in forests, bodies of young people, young people who are said to be Mungiki. So it is very dangerous for the government to use militias. They would better use police because militias, you can reach a point where you cannot control them. Yes.
If you have a wedding, baby shower, birthday party, or even a corporate event and you need media services, well, look no further than Safari Lens Media Production. Safari Lens Media Production is a media company that offers editing, videography, photography, graphic design services, and also live streaming. So if you have any event, contact Safari Lens Media Production. And I promise you, what I deliver, they'll do you good. They are professional, they offer professional services, and I'm sure you'll also like it. If you have a wedding, baby shower, birthday party, or even a corporate event and you need media services, well, look no further than Safari Lens Media Production. Safari Lens Media Production is a media company that offers editing, videography, photography, graphic design services, and also live streaming. So if you have any event, contact Safari Lens Media Production. And I promise you, what I deliver, they'll do you good. They are professional, they offer professional services, and I'm sure you'll also like it. So finally, now that Rigathi is finally in the country, minus all the drama and all, finally he's back in the country, he's settled in the country, and you've clearly said we have by-elections that are going on. So yes, as a party leader of DCP, he's expected to be also on the political run, campaigning for his candidate in his party.
Yes.
How does now Rigathi's presence back in the country, how does it now shape the political atmosphere? Because even Oscar Sudi in his Facebook pages, he was clearly heard saying that since Rigathi went away, kumetulia. So a lot of politicians or a lot of political enthusiasts believe that Rigathi's presence or his utterances is what causes the political temperatures in Kenya to rise. Now that he's back in the country, do you believe he'll be silent, or he'll now go back to rising the political temperatures in the country? Because clearly be told, saizi ni venye Kenya kuna CAF, kuna CHAN tournament that is going on and Harambee Stars is performing well. So a lot of the people will make their focus huko. But if at all we don't go past the quarterfinals, like we such Harambee Stars to eliminate you, are you seeing a situation where the concentration of Kenya is to back to political shenanigans that are happening in the country?
Yeah, what I can say is that this CHAN tournament has helped to lower the political temperatures in the country, because now a lot of young people in this country are now focused on CHAN, even as they they go to the stadium to play Madagascar in the quarter final. So the return of Rigathi Gachagua in this country will definitely take us back to, you know, those very high voltage political temperatures. Because you can see while he was out, he was, you know, making statements that were forcing government luminaries in Kenya to respond, to take their time to go to rallies and respond to him. Yet he was in the US. So you can imagine his back, and what I can see coming ahead is, you know, is very high political temperatures. Because I think Rigathi Gachagua, you can see the way he has come, very defiant. He is now very defiant. And I could see yesterday the kind of people who are, you know, in his security entourage were very strange fellows. I think those ones were not Kenyans. So I think he will be very defiant, and he will have to take the government head on more than he has done in the past.
Yeah. So let's now move to it's called, I hear it's called the MAT-WAC, the multi-agency team for fighting war against corruption that the president formed. The High Court acted swiftly on it. There is a petition that went to the High Court. They were saying that it is illegally formed against the constitution, because constitutionally in Kenya, the only agency that has been given the mandate to fight corruption cases is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. But with the committee that was formed, we saw that it was a collaboration between the NIS, the DCI, the Attorney General's Office of the DPP, and also Attorney General's Office, and also KRA. Do you think that was a good move by the president appointing this multi-agency team to fight against corruption, or was it just a multi-agency team that was formed together so as to fight defiant MPs and senators who are going against the president? Because in recent history, during Jubilee's time, when Uhuru did the handshake with Raila and they started working together, we saw it was that time that the legs of Aden Duale was removed for as being the majority leader in National Assembly. Kipchumba Murkomen was removed from being the majority leader in Senate, and the House leadership in general was removed, such that Raila had his people come into the leadership. Are you seeing a situation where this will happen? Because now, in this situation also, we have the court ruling that ODM or the Azimio is the one that has the majority. These are some of the things that maybe Raila himself as a politician, he can use to blackmail or to manipulate President Ruto into succeeding to remove the likes of Ichungwa, the likes of Aaron Cheriot from the House leadership and bringing his people in. Is that a situation where it will happen, or that decision to come with the multi-agency team to fight corruption was just a goodwill from the president himself?
I think that gimmick of forming a multi-agency team to fight corruption, for me, I can say it is purely political. President Ruto is just playing politics. Because if President Ruto is committed to fighting corruption, then we have constitutional institutions in place already. We have the EACC, we have the DCI, we have the ODPP. Those ones are the institutions that are mandated to deal with the corruption or economic crimes. There is the EACC Act, there is the Economic Crimes Act. So anything beyond the constitution is unconstitutional and illegal. You cannot form a multi-agency team bringing it together members from various institutions or from various commissions, yet our constitution says those ones are independent institutions. Like EACC is a very independent institution, ODPP is an independent institution, DCI is as an independent institution. There is no single clause in our constitution which suggests or you know, opines that the president can form a multi-agency team to fight corruption. That one was very unconstitutional, and any court in the world, even a kangaroo court by wazee under a tree could have, you know, could have shut down that thing, because the president has no such mandate. I think what the president is doing is trying to make something a political wing. He was trying to make a political wing to help him deal with the, you know, maybe those people who do not support him or so. Because we saw it happening at the tail end of Uhuru's tenure. When the DCI was very active, EACC was very active, arresting people. You remember that Kamata Friday? Yes, yeah. We used to call it Kamata Friday. At the tail end of Uhuru's tenure is when we saw people being arrested and arraigned in the court for economic crimes. It was purely political. If you are on the wrong political side, you are arrested, and on a Friday, on Monday, you are presented to court for economic crimes. I think Ruto is preparing to do that. That is, he's laying ground to do that. And that's why he was forming this multi-agency team. And finally, let me say, President Ruto, according to me, has no moral authority at all to point fingers and complain that MPs are corrupt. Because I remember Finance Bill 2024, MPs openly said, they openly confessed that they were bribed to pass that finance bill. They were bribed to pass that finance bill.
Yeah.
Yes, and who bribed them? Your guess is as good as mine. Then after that, there was the impeachment of Gachagua. And the MPs confessed that they were paid. They didn't even know why they were impeaching Gachagua. They were paid to impeach him. And we hear that in the Senate, people are getting up to 10 million to impeach Gachagua.
Yeah.
So, President Ruto complaining about corruption or about MPs receiving bribes, yet it is the president himself who has been perpetuating the issue of MPs receiving bribes to pass bills that are draconian, bills that have failed the test of time in public participation, bills that have been shut down in public participation. MPs are bribed to pass those bills. So President Ruto should not be complaining about corruption or MPs receiving bribes. And to me, I think it is, I can summarize by saying that corruption has started hating corruption. Yes.
And that's why maybe a lot of people are celebrating, because they're saying, acha wapigane wenyewe ni vita yao.
Yes.
The elites versus the elites. But don't you think on the flip side, just on that, I know you've summarized it, but don't you think on the flip side then, the president has the advantage now, or to say that he's trying to fight corruption, him himself as president, but the judiciary as an arm of government is the one that is letting him down? Because if me as the president, I form a committee or a multi-agency team to fight corruption, but you as another arm of government, the judiciary, you come and disband that multi-agency team, do you think now he'll say, nimejaribu ya Kenya naweza fanya, but ni kama mtaki kunisaidia, what else do you want me to do? So that now whoever person will come out and say that the government is corrupt, the president will be using this scenario to say that, hey, you look guys, I tried, but sikuweza because the judiciary is the one that is letting me down. Don't you think he can use that to his defense?
I think even if he tries to do that, nobody will buy that line. Because Kenyans are very brave, and Kenyans are enlightened. They can already see through that what he was doing, and I think he did it knowing that a court will shoot it down. So it was just a political gimmick. It was a political gimmick to show Kenyans that I want to fight corruption. If the president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, wants to fight corruption in this country, the first step we must take, because immediately he ascended to power, cases that were in court against his political allies, economic crimes cases, were immediately dropped. And we believe that he coerced or pressured the ODPP to drop those cases. There was a case against Gachagua involving 200 million. In fact, that 200 million was immediately returned to Gachagua. There was a case against Aisha Jumwa and several other individuals who are his political allies, close allies. If President Ruto wants to fight corruption, let him ask the ODPP to return those cases that were dropped, immediately ascended to power. A case against Gachagua, a case against Aisha Jumwa, and several other individuals. If he does that, then we shall be convinced that he wants to fight corruption. Yes.
So finally, now going to the last subject that we're going to handle during this interview is the UDA, first UDA ODM joint parliamentary meeting that happened in Karen. We saw something that was very peculiar, that the two principals, that is the Azimio principal Raila Odinga and the Kenya Kwanza principal William Ruto, who were against each other in 2022, are now chairing a joint parliamentary committee, something that it's not the first time that it's happening. As recent as the last Uhuru's regime, the same thing also happened when the handshake between Uhuru and Raila Odinga. Are you seeing that William Ruto is finding himself in familiar territories, or is it new waters? Because when it happened during his time, he was the DP. He was the one who, to him politically, it's like it was against him. But now he's on the other side, that politically now this handshake with Raila is benefiting him. Are you seeing a situation whereby it will end up affecting him in terms of he lose his majority leader in parliament, that is Kimani Ichung'wah, and lose his majority leader in Senate, Aaron Cheriot? Or how will he manage to go through this whole joint with UDA and ODM without losing politically at the end of the day?
What I can say about that is that President Ruto is in a very, in politics we describe it between a hard rock and a hard place. The situation he is in right now, because you know he's on a life-saving machine, and that life-saving machine is Raila Amolo Odinga. That is the only thing that is making President Ruto survive up to this time. He's clutching on straws, drowning but clutching on straws. And that life-saving machine, Raila Amolo Odinga, is what is giving him a lifeline. And in that aspect, what is happening, I think, is that President Ruto is obliged to give Raila Amolo Odinga whatever he wants. It is easier right now for Raila to blackmail Ruto to give him anything he wants. He will just make a threat that we shall walk out of this government. And Ruto will be forced to give Raila what he wants. So, and looking at this marriage between ODM and UDA, I think I can tell you for sure it will not help Ruto so much politically in this country. It won't help him so much, because that step that Raila took to join Ruto has made him lose a lot of support nationally. He has lost a lot of support nationally because of joining Ruto at a time when Kenyans felt that the country was headed in the very wrong direction, and there was bloodshed on the streets, and then Raila joined the government. So it made Raila lose a lot of national support. And the more he continues being with the Ruto in this marriage, the more he loses his national support. I can tell you for sure. For example, if you go to Western, where I come from, Raila has lost tremendously a lot of support. So this UDA ODM marriage has got very little effect. And in fact, if Raila will support Ruto, the support he will bring in terms of numbers will not be so much. Will not be so much. So, and that makes Ruto, I think Ruto could be, privately could be, regretting why he impeached Gachagua. He could be, regretting privately. Because he thought that, Gachagua had no effect in Mulima, Kenya. He would just be impeached and forgotten, and Ruto will remain with the Mulima.
Yeah.
That was a suicidal mistake that Ruto made politically. I don't support Gachagua, but I believe Ruto made a very big political mistake impeaching Gachagua. And so, if you look at it again historically, Luos and Kikuyus have never been cohabited in the same government together. The only time they tried to be in a government together was during Kibaki's time, 2002 to around 2003. The relationship could not go any further than that. When one is in the government, the other one must be out.
Yeah.
When the other one is out, the other one must be in government. Right now, I can tell you for sure, if ODM leaves the government right now and Ruto approaches Mulima, you will see anything is possible in politics. You will see Mulima people warming up to him again.
By Ruto, sorry for cutting you short, by Ruto, maybe if he'll approach Mulima again, and now it's like Mulima, the kingpin is Rigathi Gachagua, are you saying that now there's a possibility of him working together with Rigathi Gachagua?
Anything is possible in our politics. Anything is possible in our politics. Rigathi Gachagua and Raila cannot be together. Yeah. If Raila is inside, Rigathi Gachagua should be out. If Rigathi Gachagua is inside, so what I'm saying, if Raila leaves the government today and Ruto approaches Rigathi Gachagua with a deal, you will see it is possible. You will see them coming back together again. It is very, very possible. Very possible. Yeah, very possible.
And maybe because you said a lot of people who are Raila supporters are now not supporting him because he joined Ruto's government, especially at a time when they were crying for justice against the regime. So do you think the wrong move was Raila joining Ruto at that time, or when people are crying for justice?
Yes.
Or do you think the Raila has lost his support because he just joined Ruto's government and their ideals don't match?
I think the timing of Raila joining Ruto, it was very wrong timing. When Ruto had become very unpopular countrywide, when there was, abductions, murders, bloodshed, and so on, that timing was very wrong. I think it is his democratic right. It is Raila's democratic right to support whoever he wants. But if you ask me, and many other Kenyans will tell you, the timing was wrong because Kenyans, you know the reason why Kenyans stormed Parliament. It was after Parliament had ignored Kenyans. Parliament was defiant. Even after Kenyans had completely shut down the Finance Bill 2024 in public participation forums, MPs went ahead to vote to pass it. That was a defiance. And that is why, the main reason why Kenyans stormed the Parliament. So I think it is very clear that Raila has lost his national support because of being together with Ruto, nothing else. Because of being together with Ruto, he has lost national support. Very many Kenyans, all of us, very many of us in Kenya, we know that Raila has always projected himself as a person who fights for social justice and democracy. So many were shocked that Raila is joined the government and is comfortable and is happy inside the government, while there were a lot of injustices going on in the country. So on that basis, Raila lost a lot of support. Yes.
Yeah. And how different now does it make the handshake between UDA and ODM, that is between Raila and Ruto? Because during Uhuru's time, the handshake happened in the second term.
Yes.
But now this one, the handshake has happened in the first term.
Yes.
Will William Ruto be able to contain Raila Odinga, even if, let's say, he supports him towards 2027 and even they clinch another second term in office? Are you seeing a situation whereby Ruto will be able to accommodate Raila even past 2027 if at all they make the government of the day? And Raila being ODM?
I think the President Ruto, I think he will, if anything happens and he gets another term, he gets re-elected with the support of Raila, I think at that point, he will do away with Raila, knowing that now he doesn't need anybody's support because will be his last term. So I think the situation is that President Ruto is in a situation where he must bank on Raila and continue persuading Raila to support him until 2027, so that he can go with Raila to the elections of 2027. But now the challenge is that there is a national euphoria against President Ruto. And President Ruto's hope was that bringing Raila would help, lower that national euphoria or help kill that national euphoria against him. So, and it has not helped so much. In fact, Raila had to confess by himself when he said, we really need to have dialogue. Raila held dialogue. You remember the NADCO dialogue at Bomas? That one was Raila's dialogue. And now, after the Gen Z demonstrations, he was advising the country that we need to have dialogue. Why? Because the dialogue that was held at Bomas, the NADCO thing did not work. It did not help. Even Raila himself having a handshake with Ruto, it did not help. That's why Raila was saying we need to have another dialogue. He called it conclave dialogue. It was actually a confession by Raila that it is now beyond him. It is now beyond him. Raila is the one who used to control the opposition. When he says we demonstrate on the streets, we go. When he says it's over, we finish. And now there is a generation in this country that cannot be managed by a handshake. When they are demonstrating, you cannot do a handshake to end their demonstrations. I mean, it is a generation that is leaderless. A handshake cannot manage them. So that is the situation that Ruto and Raila are in right now. Yes.
So finally, as you almost wind up, as you've clearly said it, if now the Raila and the Ruto handshake cannot contain, if Raila was brought in to stabilize the government at that time because of the recent of the various mandamanos that are going on, and maybe let's say he has achieved, let's also give him his flowers, he has achieved to stabilize the government. Do you believe, going to the 2027 elections now, the ballot, do you believe they'll need to add one principle to that coalition so they have three principles? And if they need to add another principle, it means that they'll just pick from the existing opposition leaders or the current opposition leaders who are out of government. Which of the opposition leaders do you believe, if added to this handshake of Raila and Ruto, can have a more higher chance of winning the 2027 election? Do you believe it will be that person is Matiang'i? Do you believe that person is Kalonzo Musyoka? Do you believe that person is Rigathi? As you've said, you can also work with Rigathi again. But you also said that the Kikuyus naturally and the Luos and politically cannot work in the same government.
Yeah.
Or do you believe that person will be... Can you say Natembe is a DAP leader, or will you say na using Omalo in DAP? I don't know. Which person do you believe can come into this equation so that they can have a higher chance in 2027?
I think when you talk about another principle who should be factored in order to show Ruto's numbers and maybe assure him of a second term, you must consider numbers. Which other principle can bring the requisite numbers? For me, in this case, if you bring in Kalonzo, if Ruto brings in Kalonzo, and Kambas rally behind Kalonzo in joining Ruto, then we can have a problem in 2027. And Ruto could be re-elected again if he brings the Kamba numbers. If we bring somebody like, let's say, Natembeya, okay, Natembeya will bring the Trans Nzoia County numbers. Matiang'i can bring Kisii numbers, but those ones are very little numbers. He will need to bring a principal, if he wants to be re-elected, a principal who brings numbers. And that principal could be only either Kalonzo or Rigathi Gachagua, because of the numbers. But the big question is, if Kalonzo joins Ruto, will Kambas rally behind Kalonzo and support him when joining Ruto? If Rigathi Gachagua joins Ruto, will Kikuyus or the people of Mlima Kenya rally behind and support that marriage again? So those ones are some of the dynamics and questions that should be factored in while considering Ruto's fate going towards 2027. But again, Ruto already has principles. Musalia is there. We have Wetangula. We have the other people who are his core principles. Speaker of the Senate. We have Alfred Mutua. So maybe he could expand the principles panel so that he brings in more principles.
Yeah.
But that one can, that one, while working at that mathematics of principles, that one could be working to bring numbers, elderly numbers. But this young generation of Gen Z, they don't know that.
Yeah.
And they will not take it. Yes.
Sasa, I think that's it for now. Shukran sana for giving us this time. But also, as we wind up, maybe if you have any other last comments that you might say, I think you can also say it now. Though I wanted us also to tackle the issue of how now the elections will be coming to 2027. How different will they be? Because we have the largest number of voters will be now the young people.
Yes.
How is that now? How is it now going to affect the 2027 elections? Maybe we can just touch on that, and then we wind up with your last comments as we finish.
The 2027 election will be, there will be surprises in that election, because this younger generation called the Gen Zs and the millennials, in the previous election, they were not turning out in numbers. Like in the 2022 election, 8 million young people did not vote. 8 million did not vote. And I am sure the next mass voter registration is going to bring in like a minimum of 3 million or 4 Gen Zs into the voting bracket. And that could take their figure beyond even 15 million young people alone.
Yeah.
So, and these people, they are speaking one language. Yes, they they are seeing beyond tribes. They are seeing beyond tribes. You could see the way they are even arguing. A Gen Z in Mlima Kenya, a Gen Z in Western, a Gen Z in Coast is thinking about Maraga. We can see the discussions. Is thinking about Matiang'i. They are trying to analyze all those people. So it tells you that these people, wherever they will take their numbers, that side will carry the day very early in the morning. Very, very early in the morning. Because in the previous election, I have participated in the previous election, and I can tell you, youth were never voting in those elections. You could count 10 people in a queue, one is a youth. All the others are elderly people. 10 people, one is a youth. So I think they have learned their lessons, and the youth have realized that they can change this country with one election and by voting right. So I think the youth will want to use the 2027 election to send a strong message that we are done, they are done with the incompetency and corruption. Yes.
So any final words before we finish?
My final comment is that President Ruto, he has talked about corruption, he has pointed fingers at MPs. But we all know as Kenyans that the president has been paying lukewarm attention to matters corruption. So, and we believe as Kenyans that the president is merely paying lip service to corruption matters. There is no action he will take. Even forming the multi-agency team was just a political gimmick to show Kenyans that I want to fight corruption, just because now he has had differences with MPs who he feels he wants to deal with. These ones are what we call knee-jerk reactions to issues that affect this country. Knee-jerk reactions. If the president wants to fight corruption, he must start it today and demonstrate that he wants to fight corruption. Because in the recent weeks, we have had cases of, for example, eCitizen. We have had the over 10 billion heist in eCitizen. We have had cases of NTSA and various other scandals. There are people who are President Ruto's friends, close friends. Let him demonstrate that he wants to fight corruption by ordering the investigative agencies to investigate his closest friends, so that Kenyans can believe him. Otherwise, what I want to tell Kenyans, that let us be patient and let us be peaceful. But what you must do as Kenyans, especially young people, register as voters in large numbers. It is only your vote, your peaceful vote, that will change this country. It is not noise on the streets. It is not slogans, but your vote in a polling station will change this country. And if you want to send Ruto home in 2027, you must beat him with a very large margin that he cannot steal. A very large margin by turning out. Thank you.
Sasa, Mr. Kiberenge, shukran sana for giving us your time.
Thank you.
And also, I hope to keep it next time.
Yes.
When you have time, tafadhali, come so that you can also teach a majority of our audience are young guys.
Yes.
So when you have these conversations, they also get educated to know about political things,
Yes.
political knowledge, political activism, so that by the time they are going to vote in 2027, a majority of them, they can make the right decision. And also, if you are from home and you've been watching, maybe this is your first time watching, in this platform, we usually say the guests that we have here, most of them have different political opinions, most of them have different governance opinions, but maybe they might differ from you. If you have any differing opinion, in the comment section, tafadhali, feel free to give us your opinion so that we can also get to learn and get to hear from you. And you have been your host, Ochino, then Kenyan is a man, boy, and also a friend. Till next time, keep it locked.
Thank you.
Shukran sana. Mishkuru.